All righty. I have almost, 12:01 on my end. So we will go ahead and get started. Thank you everyone for joining us today for our Good Afternoon Long Beach. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Natalie Layton and I am the Vice President of Membership for the Long Beach Area Chamber. We have an awesome event for you today, but before I introduce our featured speaker, I wanted to go over some brief housekeeping. Please note that this event is being recorded and will be distributed to all participants as well as made available on our YouTube channel. Unless speaking, please make sure that you are muted. And if you have any questions throughout the presentation, please just go ahead and place them in the chat and Carissa will have a chance to answer them at the end of her presentation. I want to give a huge thank you to our sponsors, both LBS Financial and Primal Alchemy. Thank you for your continued support of our Good Afternoon Long Beach events all year round. And we will actually be offering a chance to win a catered meal for 4 from Primal Alchemy at the end of this event. So make sure you stick around for that. And lastly, if time permits, all attendees will have the opportunity to share with the group a 30-second elevator pitch at the end of today's event. So please stay on for some networking. Now it is my pleasure to introduce our featured speaker, Carissa Sylvester. She is the Executive Director of the Mayor's Fund for Education. She began her role as an Executive Director in 2016, and she leads the fund's program oversight, community engagement, partnership, and development efforts in support of its mission. Carissa brings to the fund a diverse professional background in public affairs, urban planning, government relations, fund development, and public-private partnerships. She serves on the Long Beach Early Childhood Education Committee Board, Educare of Los Angeles at Long Beach Advisory Board, Long Beach All Children Thrive Steering Committee, First 5 LA Business Engagement Regional Work Group, Long Beach Mayor's Internship Challenge Collaborative, and Long Beach Early Childhood Education Strategic Plan Oversight and Implementation Committee. So clearly you are quite the busy person, Carissa. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us and to talk to us all about the Mayor's Fund. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen and hand it over to you.
Thank you. Thanks for having me here today. It's really exciting to join you. So I'm going to start sharing my screen. Let me make sure I don't mess this up. So bear with me, sharing. Okay. Can you see the state of, is it coming through? Oh, okay, I'm seeing nodding of heads, so awesome. So thanks again for having me. I'm here to chat with you today and give you a little bit of an overview of the Mayor's Fund for Education. For those who don't know us, and we are a fairly new organization, so I'm happy to give you that overview and to talk to you a little bit about what early care and education looks like in the greater Long Beach area in general and kind of a post-COVID state. So really, the Mayor's Fund believes that investment in education is the most impactful step we can take for transforming a change in a community. And we work with our partners to address the most pressing needs facing young children and students and their families. Our mission is a cradle to career approach, and we want to make sure that all children have equitable access to pathways to their learning that will ultimately support a vibrant local economy. We have 3+1 focus areas, and I say the 3+1 because we have added a COVID response and recovery kind of ad hoc effort. But typically, we focus on access to quality early childhood education, expanded internships and work-based readiness for our local students, and successful college completion, all of this under the Long Beach College Promise here locally. I'll mention that we are a completely separate entity from the city of Long Beach. I'm not a city employee. I don't get their benefits package. It'd be nice to have like the pension plan, but I don't have access to it. We're a separate 501c3. I don't receive public funding from them unless it's like a competitive bid process that I go through. So I typically like to clarify that for people. We have a strong relationship with our civic partners, but we're divided and we're separate. So one of our focus areas is definitely early childhood education, and one of our signature programs there is a program called Ready Rosie Long Beach, and this is a digital platform that supports parents in their role as their child's first teacher, and it bridges the learning that happens within a school environment to the learning that can happen within a home environment, and gives parents those developmentally appropriate learning techniques and activities they can be doing with their kids. Now, parents receive a message on their phone after they register. It gives a 1 to 2 minute video demonstrating an activity for them to do. So the video is for the parent, not for the child. And then the idea is that the parent would go replicate that activity with their little ones and build foundational skills in math and early learning and literacy and social emotional development and all of those great soft skills. So we have over 7,500 users currently registered, which is fantastic. We're in all Long Beach Unified Child Development Centers, a lot of our private providers, all WIC centers. So we keep expanding access and are promoting connectivity to the program so that all children have access to those developmentally appropriate learning techniques. And our supporters of that program are listed along the bottom, which we greatly appreciate. And then we also have programs that focus on STEM learning, early STEM learning, and we partner with the Aquarium of the Pacific on those. We have a collaborative that is focused on our early education workforce and that talent pipeline. So we also work with the programs around early education in both Long Beach City College and Cal State Long Beach, because they both have programs there. And we support business engagement around early education, given the role that early education plays in our local economy, which we will get to more of, and I'll give more details about that. We, of course, have the Mayor's Internship Challenge here locally in Long Beach, was the Mayor's call to action to provide increased internship opportunities to our local students, whether they be high school, city college, or Cal State. And we work with all of our educational institutions as well as civic partners like Pacific Gateway on that initiative. And want to be Long Beach and want to be education, if we're not talking about the Long Beach College Promise, which we are supporters of and active partners of in promoting and raising visibility of and their implementation programs there. So that's a little bit about the Mayor's Fund. In general, quick snapshot, can answer questions about that. So let's take a look at our local families here in Long Beach and the children that we're serving. So in the greater Long Beach area, and I'm including Lakewood and Signal Hill in this because we tend to focus on not just the city of Long Beach, but the broader service area of Long Beach Unified School District. So we know that we've got about 46,000 kids between the ages of 0 to 5. And within those, we know that we have a good number of them within working families. And about a third of them are living in poverty, are born into and are living in poverty, and will have challenges associated with that. And we also know that for all of those children, access to childcare is critical. And it's important to understand that at that age, 0 to 5, childcare equates to early childhood education. If they're in childcare, they're learning key, crucial developmental skills early on in those settings. So care and education gets used interchangeably, and that's kind of why, because there's learning moments and every day with a little one, because their brains are growing so quickly. So we've heard from families that access to childcare, if it's presenting an issue, it will impact their productivity and their attendance. We're all kind of seeing this right now with COVID. A lot of people are juggling kids in the back. If I didn't have this blurred, you would see I have a Frisbee golf set up in my living room right now to keep things active. I think a lot of people are wrestling with that. So for these children, what are the child care options available to them? And for these close to 25,000 working families, we have centers, and we have some great quality child care centers here in Long Beach. I mean, one of our oldest is Long Beach Day Nursery. I saw Jen Allen jump on earlier, who's their new executive director. Love them. Young Horizons, Child Lane. I mean, we've got some really great center-based providers here. And they have a capacity to serve around over 7,000 kids. Great, real high quality spaces. We also have in-home providers that are also licensed to serve anywhere from 8 to 14 kids, depending on their license and their size. So that gets us up to a total of licensed capacity of just under 11,000 kids. Not going to cut it. That's not where we need it to be able to provide service for all the kids. So only about 43% have access to a licensed space. Another almost 30% rely on a network of licensed exempt providers, and that can be kind of a friends and family relationship or public agency that is helping out. But another 30% are falling in this category where they don't really have access to any of those options. And you're seeing working families struggle. You're seeing them change up work schedules. Maybe one parent is staying out of the workforce to stay home. But this is the current state of our licensed childcare capacity within the greater Long Beach area. So who are their workers within this space? Majority of them are women, and a majority of them are women of color. That is the dominant provider within this field. And it is known to be a low-paying industry, and a good portion of them are receiving relying on subsidized programs themselves. But they are an educated group of providers. 30% have advanced degrees, and another 30% have attained bachelor's degrees, and another 30% have attended some sort of college. And so it's not an underqualified workforce by any means. They're highly skilled. They're trained within this early childhood field. They have their units to provide the care. And so I never want to miss an opportunity to say how extremely qualified and awesome this work. Our centers also, what people don't often realize is a lot of them will serve children beyond just 5 years old. A lot of them will go sometimes up to 8 years old. In-home providers have flexible service hours, which means if you have those non-traditional work hours or work schedules, they will often serve those families and provide that flexibility that is needed. The number of in-home providers out there in the community has been decreasing over the years, and I'm going to talk a little bit about why that probably is. Like I mentioned, it is a low-paying field, and typically we see wages that are maybe about 50% of what you'd see their kindergarten teachers receive, even though their qualifications and skills are just as good and they're just as awesome. And in-home providers, it's estimated that they work an average of 65 hours a week. So it's a hardworking field, to be sure. Oh, jumping ahead. Okay. So what does it cost? What does it cost the family? So if I'm hearing there's a huge demand for this, right? Why aren't people rushing to open up businesses and meet this demand and to serve these families? Let's talk about a little bit of why that is. So the tuition cost of families is going to range from anywhere from like $10,000 to maybe $15,000, depending on the age of your child for a family. Not cheap, not cheap for anyone to afford. And to qualify for subsidized care, the rate for that is, and I would have to double check myself on this a little bit, but the statistics I found is 70% of the state median income that was calculated back in fiscal year 08. And it hasn't adjusted to account for recent increases in minimum wage, et cetera. So all that to be said, the cost to provide childcare, and on the screen here, you see the cost to provide quality care for a preschooler, they're not having the revenue to meet it, right? So tuition is falling under what that typical cost of care, which is just under $17,000 to provide cost of care for a preschooler. Their contract with the state isn't covering that cost. So they're losing revenue just by being open and providing the service. Now let's say, and this is assuming equality ratios of children, that's the number of teachers to the children in the classroom. Let's say they drop that down and they're going to go with just the bare minimum of what the state requires in licensing. And so you have more kids to a single adult. It still doesn't, they still don't pay for what it costs to provide that care. They're still coming under. So that's where you'll see a lot of child care centers. They fundraise a lot, they conserve, and they are so frugal in so many spaces. I don't want to say that they cut corners, because they don't, because they keep up their quality of care, but they're looking to protect every dime that they have to offer, because they're always coming under the cost here. The same is true for in-home providers. The cost to provide care there is, again, a little bit less than in centers, but not much. And by this, the chart down below, between the tuition, if it's the parents don't qualify for care, between the tuition, or if they do qualify for subsidized care and the contract with the state, or they get vouchers, any of those combinations, they're still coming up and under, and not quite covering that nut to make things, the ends meet. Again, let's say they go with a bare minimum and they have the maximum number of kids to teachers. It's just under that line, but still it's under that line of what it costs, of what the revenues that they're bringing in and the cost to provide the care. So if we're looking at, well, why aren't people filling this need? And there's a demand here. This is likely why. It's this cost model from a business perspective doesn't make a lot of sense. The only exception to this that I found in studies was when it comes to baseline minimum quality care for toddlers. Somehow that state rate is above the cost of care. So they're covering their needs on this one example. I don't know why that is exactly. There's a whole complicated analysis to be done with these funding streams. This is the one exception that I found, which is interesting. So from that business model, that was all pre-COVID, right? And so then world goes upside down. We've all been dealing with it. Childcare providers have new health guidelines and policies they have to be following. They're battling with, how do you social distance with 2-year-olds? I don't know how to do that. That is a really complicated question when you're teaching kids to be social and to interact, and then it's stay apart. There's an increased demand for supplies and cleaning supplies and having to separate out materials. And there's an increased need for interagency communication. So all of this, to be said, is their demand for supplies has gone up. Their capacity drops down, so they can't serve as many kids. So they're serving sometimes 50% their normal capacity. So their tuition rates are going down, but the staffing has stayed the same. To maintain those ratios of children to teacher, a lot of the staffing stayed the same. So they weren't saving any money during this time when their revenue was dropping. So their operational deficit increased to 56% in some cases. We've also seen closure of centers, and latest estimates have been here locally that we've lost over 500 spaces for kids. So we already had a deficit and a demand for service. It got bigger during COVID. We're hoping some of these bounce back and reopen. Time will tell. I don't have that crystal ball. It'd be great if we could work with them and get them reopened. It's going to be a challenge for them. And so I think we've all seen there's this reliance on your friends and family network to make it work. Cover me while I've got this meeting, and what have you. So COVID definitely had an impact on our providers. I have some pictures here from our friends at Long Beach Day Nursery because they're cute and awesome. This is how they handled some of their social distancing guidelines. They had to divide tables and work on visual cues for the kids on what does that mean to stay apart, and what are germs, and what does it mean that there's this what is a pandemic, and how do you talk to kids about that at this developmentally appropriate age range. So they had to adapt, and luckily they've done a wonderful job at adapting, but it didn't come without a cost, and it didn't come without being quite a challenge for them. So the Mayor's Fund, the way that we've been helping out, I'm not a supply distribution person. I have given myself a crash course in logistics this year, so I now give myself an honorary degree in logistics management. We acquired warehouse space and started to get our hands on and distribute all kinds of PPE supplies and essential infant care supplies. So diapers and wipes and formula and hand sanitizer and cleaner and books and anything that we could find to keep our childcare providers stocked with the essential supplies that they needed to weather this. and to get out to our families. Families were having a hard time either at first finding items and then affording the items. And just within the last 6 months, probably in the last 4 months, I was at a distribution of one of our distribution sites, and a father came up with tears in his eye because he was so happy to get his hands on diapers because they've been using old t-shirts on the baby, which is heartbreaking and tells me we are right where we need to be in continuing to provide these supports for families during this time. So we've also been working with our civic partners on the CARES Act rollout and the Long Beach Recovery Plan to make sure that early childhood education, our providers, are part of the industry who are also being included for supports to reopen, recover, bounce back, much like all of your industries. So the benefits. I'm not going to go into a lot of detail about the benefits to the children, although they are extensive. You have 1 million neurons being formed in the brain in those early years of life. That's a critical time for the children to be developing those skills. We hear a lot that employers struggle to find qualified candidates with those critical soft skills, those communication skills. I'm here to tell you the start of those go and the roots of those go very deep and they go very early. And so the establishing of some of those critical soft skills amongst our young children will lead to good results as they enter the workforce later on. But if we focus just on what kind of the rate return on investment is, studies have shown a range of anywhere between 10 to 13% rate of return on these investments. There's increased academic attainment for people who attend early childhood education. You have reduced crime rates. What's interesting is that homeowners will seek out areas, home buyers will seek out areas that have access to quality child care and education. So you see increased tax revenues and increased property values where that exists. You have improved labor market performance because parents have somewhere to take their kids that's quality and reassuring and stable. So they're going to stay at work and stay at work longer. And so you have an increased earning potential from these parents and these families. So I'm going to shift to not just hearing it from me, but some of our partners. So I'm going to shift to a video real quick. And we'll hit play.
As we all know as parents, taking care of kids is the most important thing. And when one of the parents in the household has to stay home, that's a loss of potential income. It also opens up the opportunity to commute farther or to take risks. Maybe you need to change jobs and change schedules. When you have childcare issues, oftentimes you're restricted from the opportunities that you might be able to take otherwise to create income for your household. When we look at a household income, every hour counts. And when we're trying to boost the productivity of a community, the more that working age people have to go to work or to be productive in the workforce is an opportunity to create wealth for their family and their needs. So early childhood education is a good way, a good strategy for not only lowering costs for a family, but also to free up time for the adults to respond to economic opportunities like jobs.
So, switching back to my headphones. Okay, so that's a little bit of a message from our, you probably know, John Keisler from Long Beach Economic Development Department talking about the economic impact that access to quality from early care and education has here locally. So if anything of this strikes a chord with you, and I hope that it does, we would love to chat with you more about how to get involved in becoming an early education business champion. You can lend your voices to the fact that this is an issue. Are you seeing this with your own industry and within your own businesses and with your own employees? I'd love to know that. and there's others who would love to hear that from you, just to know that this really is a critical issue. There's early education provider boards who are looking for members to engage with them. You don't have to know early education. They're the experts. They need your expertise in another area to lend your voice to that board and to its governance. Offer technical assistance or pro bono work or reduced rates. If you're accounting or marketing or, I mean, just about anything you can think of, HR support, they have that they need to address also internally as an organization. But they're focused on the kiddos, as they should be. So lend support in these other areas to help them reduce costs from having to hire consultants or outside contractors. You can partner with a local provider and lend support to them. And as we're looking at a lot of changes in the landscape of our businesses, explore creative reuse of some vacant spaces that might exist right now, and how might we look at opening a center within a space that is currently sitting dormant or vacant. You can also implement internal policies within your own organization, and I will call your attention to things as simple as having a list of what our local childcare providers are, or how do they your employees find out about childcare resources, or applications for subsidized care, or participate with the Mayor's Fund with Ready Rosie and offer that as a benefit to your employees, to say, hey, we support and we think that supporting the development of your young children is important, and it's something that we offer. So there's lots of ways to get involved. And this is by no means an exhaustive list, it's just some examples. There's a lot of initiatives out there. We have the Early Education Strategic Plan, All Children Thrive, a scholarship program. The CARES Act and Recovery Act are going strong to help support this industry. And again, if any of this resonates with you, and if you're already implementing some of these strategies or interested in implementing some of these strategies, please, I want to hear from you. I would love to know that. I'd love to partner with you and talk to you about how that's going, how we can help bolster your efforts to support your employees. Become a local champion. Even if you want to fly under the radar and you're just talking to me in the background, that's fine. You don't have to stand up and be the poster child business leader for the community on this, but there's lots of other ways to get involved. So I hope that's interesting to you in setting the context for early care and education right now. I'm happy to answer questions. If I don't know, I'll just tell you and find out what an answer when I can. So I'll look in the chat, but I guess, Natalie, unmute and ask.
Yep, if anyone wants to unmute, if you want to put your question in the chat for Carissa, go ahead, because we have some moments for some questions.
Carissa?
I see a comment. Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
My name's Brad Pollock. I'm with the Small Business Development Center. Great presentation, thank you. The list of childcare resources you're talking about, is that on the mayorsfund.org site? Is that where that exists? So I can help spread that around?
Probably not enough of an exhaustive list. So I'm happy we can put stuff on the Mayor's Fund website. There's also some on the Early Education Committee website. Let me get you an exact answer on a one-stop shop for you to go to. That's if I'm going to ask you to go and share some of these things, that's on me to make. let me make you a one-stop shop for that. Start by going to the Mayor's Fund website. We have some resources there. I will build out more, and just you can always just email me, and I can send you a more exhaustive list. But yes, we're continuing to build that out.
I'll spread it around. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And I saw a comment from Nancy about sitting on the Long Beach Day Nursery board. I'm so glad that was a great experience for you. They're a wonderful organization. And so thank you for doing that for them and for others. There's really wonderful providers here locally in town that could use your expertise on their boards.
Carissa, I work with a company where we work with a lot of high school grads and college age students. Could you put your info in the chat so I can reach out to you?
I would be happy to. Yes.
Thank you.
Fantastic.
Chris,
Any
I have
other?
another question. Could I do that? Natalie, is that right?
Yeah, go for it.
So far, how are people, how are parents typically, how are they finding out about these programs or the mayor's fund? Or how, do you have any idea of that?
Um,
Word of
it's a
mouth?
mix, right? Right. It's a word of mouth. How do they find out about providers? There is a resource and referral agency that kind of operates and covers part of they cover Long Beach and then part of the rest of LA County. There's two agencies that can help families navigate and find their way. Long Beach is working on kind of a local version of that for the greater Long Beach area, because Long Beach loves Long Beach and we love to do things kind of our way. And so we are looking to kind of have a honed in version of that, so they can find their way there. Let's face it, a lot of families will just Google preschool near me, childcare in the area, to mix results, then it's just what they find. So I think Long Beach implementing a local source that will refer folks out based on that family's needs and income levels and who's got capacity, so we don't let families just go on this wild goose chase of trying to navigate that system, I think will go a long way in helping with that. Honestly, I think a lot of it is word of mouth, Google searches. Hopefully they find themselves with a local partner who knows to connect with us. Jen Allen might have an answer to that too, on how people find their way over there.
I think that's accurate. They call, they Google, they ask friends, neighbors. Hopefully we will have a better network soon.
I only ask because it's always really helpful to be able to direct people to one or two sort of focused areas, and then they can learn more about it. It's easier to spread the word that way. So, but I know it's building, so I get it. Thank you.
Yeah, it's not a perfect system. We're working on it. We haven't perfected it yet, but I think more than ever, this is recognized as a critical need for us within the community, and there's a lot of incentive to build these sources here for our local population more than ever. So we're going to focus on that. I see a question about how do I get listed on the new Long Beach? Young Horizons will be listed. They have been a strong partner in the early education space for years. Their director, Sarah Soriano, sits on the board of the Long Beach Education Committee. So not to fear, Long Beach or Young Horizons would definitely be listed.
Hi, Krista. I'm Gina. I'm with Pediatric Therapy Network, and I just want to say thank you for joining us, because for our organization, we provide early intervention services. So we're not a full day childcare program in that sense, but still important to have those resources available for children with special needs and families. But in general, for the chamber too, I think it's really great that you guys are bringing this issue up as well, because it's really a business issue. Especially, we're seeing it as businesses are reopening, and there are a lot of people, companies saying they're having trouble finding employees to come back to work, and a lot of them can't if they don't have a place to send their children. So aside from the generational impacts that high quality early care and education will have on all of the whole Long Beach community, but today it also impact people getting back to work.
Definitely, and it impacts them getting back to work, and I have to give a shout out to providers stayed open during the pandemic. They may have closed for a little bit as they dealt with new health orders, but they reopened quickly. They were serving essential workers. They were deemed essential workers by the governor, and that's so important. I mean, the role that they played in continuing to provide quality care for their kids, and during a scary time. I mean, a lot of them it was pre-vaccine, right, when all of this was going on. Like many of our other essential workers, they deserve incredible kudos, just like our healthcare workers and just like our food service workers. I mean, they stepped up to the plate and helped Long Beach get through that. And so, for if nothing else, they deserve huge high fives and kudos from us for that.
And thank you too for the drives and helping distribute much needed supplies, basic need supplies to the families too. And we saw that with ours, food, diapers, things that seem simple, but they really needed them.
They're happy to help. And now I have a whole new skill. It's my new COVID skill that I came away with.
It looks like there's another question in the chat.
Oh, working with non-licensed providers to get licensed. If we know about them and can connect with them and can help them through that process, yes, there is an effort to connect with more non-licensed providers to get them through that process. It can be tricky though, in terms of who has the ability to connect with them and know where they are and explain why it's really important for them to get the licensing that is needed. So, and honestly, there's not a huge team. The Mayor's Fund, I don't have a big team. The City of Long Beach has two early childhood education specialists kind of embedded within the health department. So there's not a lot of resources to go and find these people out and navigate them through that process. We're working to build their structures to have more of that happen. Is it enough? No, not yet, but we hope to build it to where it is. Because like you saw, the demand is there.
Any more questions for Carissa? Thank you. All righty. Well, thank you so much, Carissa, for this awesome presentation, for answering all the questions. I know the Chamber has greatly enjoyed working with the Mayor's Fund for Education, and we look forward to further partnerships in the future. You are welcome to stay on and network with us all, but if you have, something to do, if you want to eat some lunch, we will not hold it against you. But thank you
for
again.
having me. I'll stick around.
Great. Perfect. All righty, so we are going to go around the virtual room, so to speak, and give everyone 30 seconds to give a brief elevator pitch, introduce yourself, your company, who you represent, and what you do. So I will just start with Charlotte, if you want to kick it off.
Good afternoon. My name is Charlotte Melsch. I'm with Cal Bowling Center in Lakewood. Happy to tell you we are open. My job is not open yet, but we are open. We're happy to have everybody come in. The health department has visited us twice and we've passed, so we feel very safe. We have great junior programs. Our leagues are on the floor. People are just having fun, and it is so nice to see people, because I do go in there and check them out, see people just having fun and glad to be out and telling us thank you for being open. And but we do have restricted hours, though. We are only opening at 2 in the afternoon. Monday through Friday, and we only stay open until 10:30. On Saturdays, we open a little earlier and stay open until 11:30, and on Sundays, like from 1 o'clock till 9. So if you do want to come see us, which we hope you do, we encourage you to go to www.calbowl.com and make a reservation. So look forward to seeing all of you really soon. Thank you.
Thank you, Charlotte. I know the Chamber team keeps talking about getting out there and bowling. Glad to hear that you all are open. Amanda.
Hi, everyone. Amanda Donahue with the Long Beach Chamber of Commerce. I am the Special Events Manager and the Executive Assistant to Jeremy Harris. So if you ever need any information on any of our upcoming events, you can reach out to me, or if you have any appointments for Jeremy.
Thank you. How about Brad?
Thanks, Natalie. My name is Brad Pollock, and I'm the director of the Long Beach Small Business Development Center here in Long Beach. And I think most of you already know this, but I'll just quickly say that what we do is we offer no-cost advising to businesses that are getting started and to small businesses that are growing across all the business fundamentals. So it's a no-cost service, and it's provided by paid experts in their respective fields. We offer one-on-one advising. We also teach a ton of webinars. In fact, as I think about it, in June, something that might be of interest to you is we're starting an Instagram series. It's going to be a 6-week intensive Instagram series to focus on how to use Instagram to increase sales and leads and so on and so forth. It starts Wednesday, June 16th, and it's every Wednesday until July 27th. So we're really excited about that. We're going to dive in deeply and show you how to increase sales using Instagram. So anyway, Brad Pollock with the Long Beach Small Business Development Center.
Awesome. Thank you, Brad. Dan?
Hi, everybody. Welcome back. Hope to see you all in person real soon. I'm on the Small Business Council for the Chamber and on the board, but most of you know me as the publisher of Travel Host Beach Cities magazine, which is available in print, electronic version that we email out to 100,000 locals. We also do video production for companies and help manage people's social media platforms, all to get the word out and to connect the thousands of tourists and locals that live in the area to come out to dine, shop, and play in local businesses. This is our 9th year doing what we do, and we'd love to help you. So if I can answer any questions at all about how to reach a new audience, please let me know. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Dan. Martha?
Sorry about that. Hi, everyone. Martha Gonzalez from Long Beach Medical Center. And June is Men's Health Awareness Month. And I was reading that about 85% of men can remember the make and model of their first car, but can't remember the last time they visited the doctor. So it's really important. June is Father's Day for all you dads and father figures. Make sure you get the screenings that you need. Be there for your family members and your loved ones. I'll put some information regarding Men's Health Awareness Month in the chat. That's it.
That's great. Thank you, Martha. Gwen?
Hi, I had to unmute there. Hi, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Gwen Butterfield, and I own Butterfield Communications, a consulting firm specializing in the ports area of LA Long Beach. And happy to be on today, and also representing 2 clients who are Long Beach Chamber members, Mitsubishi Cement Corporation and World Oil.
Thank you, Gwen. Jonathan?
Hello, everyone. My name is Jonathan Bruckner with Cutco. Cutco is a line of high-quality American-made kitchen and outdoor items. We are American-made, as I mentioned, and forever guaranteed. So it's something that you can buy once, use every day, and never have to replace, because Cutco, unlike you, is guaranteed forever.
Love it. Thank you. And Chris?
Hi, I'm Chris Gregson. I own GK Media. I get your business found on Google, and I'm offering a free 30-minute Zoom session with me to anybody that's interested in digital marketing. I'll drop my email, just shoot me an email, and I'll drop my email in chat.
Awesome. Thanks. Leslie?
Hi there, I'm Leslie Smith with McCormick LA. Do what Chris just said. I was on the phone with him last week and he gave me some great tips and it was fantastic and I appreciated it. And how's that cat, Chris?
Still not moving.
Still not moving. He's very well behaved. I help small businesses and nonprofits with their marketing and promotional problems. I make them very simple. I will put some information in the chat for you and you can subscribe to my email, download my helpful book that's 50 pages and 3 great steps for you to get on track for your promotional efforts. It's only $4.99 download on Amazon. So thank you very much for having me. Nice to see you. Good job, Carissa.
Awesome. Thank you, Leslie. Marilyn?
Hi, my name is Marilyn Singer. I work for the Long Beach Chamber of Commerce. I'm the membership coordinator. So if you're a member and you need help navigating your membership portal or you want more information about what our benefits are as a chamber member, feel free to reach out to me. Thanks.
Thank you, Marilyn. I saw that Chris Gregson had your book, Leslie, giving you an in-person shout out. And how about Gina?
Dan has it too.
Your fan club on the call
yes.
today.
I have to pay him later, but you know, we're good. It's networking.
Did you say Gina?
I did, yes.
Well, hi, Gina Gillum with Pediatric Therapy Network. We're a nonprofit that's in Torrance and Long Beach, and we provide services, early intervention, therapeutic services, social skills programming, whole variety for children with special needs so that we can help kids reach their fullest potential and families get the support they need.
Awesome. Thank you. How about Chris Mitchell?
Hi, Chris Mitchell, CM Marketing, social media, web design, data analysis. I'm the guy you go to when you want to strategically revamp your social media campaigns. And I also have Leslie's book because we love reading. And I also wanted to let you guys know, number one, I have our live stream going on today, this afternoon at 5 p.m., Tequila Tuesdays, where me and my business partner, Aaron, talk about all the latest and greatest. And I also just released a podcast this weekend. The episodes are now, but the trailer's available if you guys want to go on Spotify, Google, or rss.com and set your notifications for the first episode. We're going to be talking about all the latest trends and research and data that comes out that we use to help our companies grow and come up with better strategies to market themselves online digitally. Tune in every week. We're going to have episodes for you. And tune in tonight. We have a special guest for Tequila Tuesdays, keeping it lit for everybody.
I love it. And what's the podcast name?
The podcast is That New. That's THAT, new, where we talk about that new.
I love it. Love it. Love it. Thank you, Chris. How about Steve? Oh, it looks like you got to unmute yourself.
There we go. I'm Steve Soto. I'm from Optimum Seismic. We're a seismic retrofit company. We retrofit buildings for earthquakes. We are the oldest and largest in the state of California, and we offer free evaluations. So if you have a question about how much it's going to cost or what it entails, give me a call. We will go out there for free and tell you what it will cost you to retrofit your building. So, and Carissa, I got on late and I missed a lot of your stuff, and I'm so sorry because I'm a former municipal government employee, and I would have liked to have heard everything you had to say about that. So,
well, it'll be on our YouTube channel tomorrow. So if you want to catch up and see what you missed, please visit our channel.
I will do that. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Steve. Rachel?
Hello, I'm Rachel with Best Buddies in Long Beach, South Bay area. Best Buddies is one of the largest organizations providing opportunities for individuals with developmental and intellectual disabilities. I work for the jobs program, so I've got jobs candidates age 18 and older looking for employment in the area, ranging from clerical work, general labor, anything. If you're looking for enthusiastic employees that are going to be around for a long time, give me a call. We do provide on-the-job training once they're hired to support them so that they'll be a great employee for a long time.
Fantastic. Thank you, Rachel. And Jen?
Hi, I'm Jen Allen from Long Beach Day Nursery. We provide high quality early care and education in 2 different centers here in Long Beach. And Chris already kind of highlighted our field and some of the work we do. Thanks so much.
Fantastic. Thank you. Thanks for joining us today. How about Aiden?
Hi, I'm Aiden Miller. I'm a CPA and I do tax accounting, and I basically concentrate on individuals and their entities associated with them. If you ever have a tax question, give me a call. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Aiden. Oscar?
Hi, thank you so much for having me. My name is Oscar Velasco, Business Development Specialist with OBS Financial Credit Union, local credit union serving the community for 85 years. If you have any questions about the credit union, please reach out to me. Love to answer them. And again, thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. And Jamie?
Hi, I'm with the Mayor's Center for Education, so I think Chris had covered everything that we do. Just wanted to hop on and see what the conversation is going to be all about today.
Awesome. Thank you. Thanks for joining us. And Alicia? Is she there?
Hi, were you calling me? Sorry about that.
Yep. No, you're good.
Sorry. Okay. I'm like going back and forth between calls. Hi, everyone. I'm Alicia Burhow. I'm the Director of Government Affairs for Charter Communications, or Spectrum. And I cover Long Beach and Orange County and Signal Hill. It's a pleasure to be here today. And if you have any questions about Spectrum or our needs, let us know. Or your needs rather, not mine. But we just FYI for all of you, we have applications are open now for our 2021 Spectrum Digital Education Grant. I am happy to get this over to the chamber and send this out to you all. But if you qualify, we'd love to have you apply. Last year, the Long Beach Gray Panthers won a $25,000 grant from us, and I would love for more folks in Long Beach to be able to apply and get that grant as well. And it's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Thank you so much.
Sure.
And last but not least, I know you already spoke quite a bit, Carissa, but if you do want to formally introduce yourself once more.
Oh, yeah, aren't you guys tired of hearing from me yet? Carissa Sylvester, the Executive Director of the Mayor's Fund for Education, Early Ed, work-based learning, internship opportunities, and successful college completion. We do cradle to career programming and work with partners throughout the Long Beach community. So I know we talked a lot about early ed today. If you have interest in any of our other focus areas as well, I'm happy to chat with you about that. So reach out at any time. And thanks for having me again. It's been really fun getting to know all of you.
Thank you. Thanks so much. I love that cradle to career. That's great. I did want to announce our winner of today's door prize. So as a reminder, it's a catered meal for 4 from Primal Alchemy, and Charlotte is our winner today. So congratulations. Oh, it looks like, I don't know if you're trying to say something, but you're on mute. But congrats, and I will reach out to you on the details of how to redeem that awesome prize. So thank you so much, Primal Alchemy, and thank you so much, LBS Financial, for all of your continued support. And now, before we conclude, I want to pass it over to Amanda Donahue to go over some upcoming events.
Thank you, Natalie. So yeah, we actually have a lot going on for the remainder of June. This Thursday, June 10th, we'll be having our joint Thirsty Thursday speed networking event with the Malibu Chamber of Commerce and Greater San Fernando Chamber at 4 p.m. It's a great opportunity to meet and network with people in our neighboring cities, and we have over 100 people registered right now. So, and it's a free event, so I highly encourage everyone to join. It is very fun. This Friday, June 11th, we'll be continuing our Cal Savers and Multiple Employer Plan webinar series with Bryson, which will inform business owners of what they need to know regarding this program. The webinar is going to take place at 10 a.m. Wednesday, June 16th at 4 p.m. will be the Women's Business Council's Women of Excellence, where they'll be awarding 4 deserving women with the Marathon Small Business Grant, Outstanding Community Leader Award, Outstanding Woman in Business, and Outstanding Woman in Education. Thursday, June 24th at 4 p.m. will be the Chamber's 130th Annual Gala, where we'll be honoring LBS Financial Credit Union as our Destination Tomorrow honoree for their 85th anniversary, and our nonprofit honorees will be ChildNet and St. Mary Medical Center Foundation for their 50th anniversary. And lastly, we'll be having our next Good Afternoon Long Beach on Tuesday, July 13th at noon. And we'll be hearing from Atira Rodriguez with the Long Beach Post. I also went ahead and added our Chamber's link for all of our events, for all the information on the webinars and events I just described and more. So you can feel free to visit it there and reach out to me if you have any questions regarding any of them.
Thank you.
And I'll turn back over to you, Natalie.
Thank you so much, Amanda. Yes, please mark your calendars for the next Good Afternoon Long Beach. As Amanda said, it'll be on July 13th at noon. We are going to hear from Atira